Hi and welcome. I'm going to show you briefly a little bit about making folders in your, it's called Windows Explorer, but it's also known as My Computer. You have usually a place on your desktop. You can see here I have far too many things going on, but usually you have a folder here that says My Computer. You can select that to open up your Windows Explorer, or you can use a hotkey or quick key combination. It's the floating windows. It looks like four squares that are floating in space, and it's on the bottom row of your keyboard, usually between the Control and the Alt key. If you hold that down and then strike the E key, you should get that. It's possible that it will look like this, and if it does, all you do is click the Folders button here, and it goes to this version. I like this because I can see all of the drives mapped out here, and it's sort of like a tree. It's easy for me to find how far deep in I go, and I don't get lost. In this version, I can't remember where I clicked, and once you go in, like, you don't know, unless you know how to read this part, where you are. So I prefer the visual. Let's take a minute and look at these drives. The C drive here is your hard drive. So that's, if you're on a laptop, it's what's underneath your keyboard, and if you're on a desktop, it's the tower. Then you have your CD drive. E and F in this case are both my memory stick, and I'm not exactly sure why there's two different levels, two different letters, but this is the one that I'll work on to make folders on my memory stick. And then here is, this is a server. This little icon means it's a server drive, and if I was hooked up to the server at school, I would be able to get on this drive. Okay, so My Documents is a little bit confusing because here it is at the top, and if you click on that, you have some folders in there also. My Documents is actually housed on the C drive. So when you're on the lab computer, if you save anything to your My Documents, it'll be erased when the computer restarts because of the software that's installed on all the lab computers. So you never want to save anything here on your My Documents area. If you're working at home, feel free to organize it however you want. Okay, so for today's exercise, I'm going to actually work on my memory stick, because that should be what you're bringing to and from class. You'll see here I have it renamed to my last name, and the way to do that is just to right click on it, and then you can go down here to rename. Anyhow, once you get the box with the border like that, it means you can change what's inside. I have subfolders made already, but I'll make one to show you how to do that. You click on the drive that you want the folder to be underneath. So here I want it to go under Carol, and I'll go up here to File and New and Folder. And I'm going to call this one 01 Demo. And the 01 will just, I hit Enter after I've finished typing it. The 01 just keeps it at the top. If you want to organize it, that goes numerically before it will go alphabetically. So here's my folder called 01 Demo. And if I wanted to make a folder underneath that, I would just select that. Same process. And subfolder 1. This plus sign next to the demo means that it's got folders underneath. So as soon as I click on the plus sign, I can see the subfolder underneath it. The interesting thing about this window is that when you click on a folder, you'll see the subfolders here, and you also see them here. They're the same. But underneath, you'll see any documents that are living in this CWI folder. So if I click on 210, I see all the subfolders, and then I see there's just a couple documents in there also. So that can be a little bit confusing. And I want to talk a little bit, before I let you go, about how to move documents around. I'm going to use some different documents here. Let's say you have an item here and you want it put in a different folder. You can click on it, hold your mouse down, and I'm working with just my pointer finger, and drag it. And you can drop it somewhere else. And in this case, it's going to move it. It takes it out of Spanish and it put it into, here it is. I did this before, that's why there's two. It put it in math. Going back to the Spanish, if you grab this one, Billing Comp 01, and you drag it over here to a different drive, see the plus sign by the arrow? That means it's going to make a copy. So if I drop it here in My Documents, I'm going to keep the copy in Spanish 11, but I'm also going to have a copy here in my My Documents folder. The reason it automatically copies is because I'm changing drives. This drive is the F drive, which is on my memory stick. And my Documents actually lives in your C drive, which is inside your computer, either under your keyboard, on a laptop, or in the tower. So that's why it will make a copy automatically. If I was in Spanish here, and I wanted to grab this file and make a copy, I can click and hold it with my mouse, with my my pointer finger. I'm going to drop it in math, but I want a copy. All I have to do is press down the Control key with my left hand, and it gives me the option to drop a copy. So now I've got a copy in Spanish, and if I click on this one, I've still got the second copy. I believe that's it right there. Copy in math. If you ever grab something, drag it, and you drop it, and you can't remember where you put it. Oh, sorry, that was a bad example. I went and made a copy. It made a copy somewhere. Let's say you grab it, you drag it somewhere, and you don't know where it went. You can always hold down the Control key and hit the letter Z as in zebra. That is the quick key for undo. And always try your undo no matter where you are, whether you're in software, in a window like this. Sometimes it will work, and in this case it does work, and it can save you if you drop your file and you don't remember where, or you don't know how or where you dropped it. Let me show you a couple more things, and then I promise to let you go. This is your View tab, and if you drop this down, you can click and see everything, all these files in a different view. This is Details. This is the one I work in the most often. It gives me my date name here, but it also gives me the date when I modified it. And if you click on the name, it puts it in alpha, but you can also put it in type order or date modified, and it looks like it goes newest to oldest. If I click it again, it switches. So that's helpful when you're trying to find something. I believe that is it. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you at the next podcast.